Praise the Lord, praise the Lord. This is Shawnee.
And this is Rhodey.
And welcome to Not Your Average Church Girls podcast with a Z.
With a Z.
How are you today, sis?
I am doing just fine. How are you doing?
I am doing okay. I am still standing.
Good.
Yep, I am still standing. Thankful that we're able to be back again to record another episode.
Yes, we are thankful to be back to record another episode. And would you like to tell our friends what the topic is today?
No, ma'am. That's your duty. No.
Okay. The topic that Shaniqua has chosen is how to stay joyful in this holiday season.
Yes, how to stay joyful in this holiday season. Last week we spoke about
Can we please wait until Christmas?
Yes, and that was the topic for Brody because she loves Thanksgiving as well as I'm quite sure a lot of you out there love Thanksgiving as well.
And we have to realize Halloween to Thanksgiving is 30 days, and Thanksgiving to Christmas is approximately 30 days.
Yeah.
Life is rushy enough. Let's just calm down a second.
A lot of people, and people have been saying that for years, and people have even gone as far to say like Thanksgiving feel like the forgotten holiday. I don't know if it's the forgotten holiday. But
people only come to you to eat.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing.
There's stuff I've seen people's yards going down the street that are already Christmas decorated.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, honey, let me tell you something. Every time I have to go outside to take my mom to an appointment, and we go back past the dollar store, I'm like, let me just go in there and see what they have in there. Baby, when I tell you I see all the Christmas stuff out there, despite everything I have going on, when I tell you it brings me so much joy, it gives me so happy, it brings life to me. It makes me forget about everything I'm going through, everything I'm dealing with. When I tell you, I get so excited. I had to go to Michael's the other day. When I tell you, I felt like a kid in a candy store to see all the trees and the lights and the different decorations, the different ornaments. When I tell you, Rhodey, I cannot explain to you what it does to me. Oh my gosh, I went to the dollar store and spent like almost $50 in just little trinkets, I guess, for Christmas to like put around because my house is still pretty much packed up, so I'm not putting up a Christmas tree. So what I did last year was I just decorated like my fireplace, my windows. I have a table in the middle of my living room floor. I decorated that. I decorated my apartment door. And so that is what I'm going to do again this year. But I went and spent all this money buying other stuff. Oh my goodness. Then I had to go to the orthopedic surgeon the other day. And we were literally right next to a Dollar General. And I went in there specifically looking for some things my mom needed to make her life easier. And they had Christmas stuff. And my God, I started putting all this stuff in the cart. Because when I tell you it gives me life, Rhodey, I can't explain to you what it does for me. Like, it revives me.
We are so happy for you.
I'm sorry. And I know you don't feel that way. But for me,
I don't not like Christmas. I do like Christmas.
No. But however, I know how you feel that you, like, let's take it one holiday at a time.
One holiday at a time.
For me, I'm not that Thanksgiving person. So
it's not even about Thanksgiving. It's like, good grief. You can't even, like, fully enjoy, let's say, what is it? Christmas. You love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
The day after Christmas, what do you see in the store?
Valentine's Day stuff.
Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, yep. That too.
So you're like, my stars, can we please take a minute just to enjoy
one
day at a time?
I understand how you feel now. Because when you said that, because I remember, I don't know if it was last year or a couple years ago, I felt that same exact way. It was like we had literally just gotten over Christmas. And they were already like pushing Valentine's Day and St. And I felt the same. Like,
if some of you out there, some of our listeners like me, I am a big person to watch parades on TV. I'll watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Okay.
I'll watch the Christmas parade even, and we always try to watch the Westminster Dog Show that comes on Thanksgiving.
Yep.
But if you watch any of those parades, especially like the Macy's Christmas parade, is it Macy's that does Christmas? They do Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think they do both. Yes,
they do both. If you watch Macy's at Christmas, you will see a leprechaun in the parade. You will see a Valentine in the parade. And you're like, good grief.
Oh,
Can
wow.
we get through today? If you ever really pay attention, you'll see all that stuff.
Oh, wow. See, I'm not a parade watcher like that. It just does not do it for me.
So even if you don't watch it, if you're just watching, let's say you're watching It's a Wonderful Life. During the commercial, you may see, and now we have things on sale at Dollar Tree for St. Patrick's Day. You're like, good grief. The day's not even over yet.
Yeah.
You spent so much time getting ready for the day, and then you're like, okay, it's over. Next.
Yeah. I told you last week, like, the day of Christmas is like one of the saddest days of my life. Like, I just feel like everything has left my body. Like, I just feel like, oh, is it gone already?
But it doesn't have to be sad. Remember, like I said, I think I told y'all, my godmother passed, and their house was the house at Christmas.
Yes, you did.
We always, but, she's gone, unfortunately. We miss her. But remembering all those amazing times at their house, and it wasn't like, a bunch of money was given on gifts and stuff like that. I remember mostly, laughing and talking and cooking and eating, all those types of things. So if you're sad that your particular holiday of choice is over, try to remember good things about it.
That's true. Like this year, Lord willing, my niece is going to come down, and my daughter has this thing, I forgot what it's called, where we're going to sign up online for Secret Santa. And it's just the four of us, my daughter, my niece, my mom, and myself. And so we're going to do a Secret Santa. And so what I said to my daughter is, this could be a new tradition for us, because normally our tradition is on Christmas Eve, I allow her to open up one gift. Now, she doesn't get to choose the gift. I choose the gift for her, and give it to her, and then she can open that up for Christmas Eve. So that's been our tradition. Only reason why I choose it for her, because times past has shown that she'll go and try to open up the gift that I want to save for Christmas. So now that's why I choose the gift for her. Or
you should hide the one that you really want to give her.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Or I just don't put those gifts out anymore. I'll wait until Christmas or after she goes to bed and then put those gifts out. But
and what she just said, dear listeners, is a very good tip. If something about Christmas overwhelms you, is gift giving, you can hide those gifts with a trusted friend, or even you might be able to rent out a storage locker so people won't go snooping to see what the gifts are.
Right.
If you're trying to hide it and really, like, let's say it's something they've wanted all year long, and you got it for them, but you don't want them to find it.
Yeah.
The best way, spend that $100 for 6 weeks or however, get yourself a small storage place and put it in there.
Especially if you have really nosy people in your household. Like if you really have very persistent, nosy kids or a spouse or whatever, that they're really good at detective work, that may be the best thing to do. Is either, if you can't go hide it at someone else's home, is to, that's even risky too, because I've seen on social media how people have done that, and that person kids ended up getting into the gifts.
Mm-hmm. So like if you have a job that you're able to hide stuff at, because some people, you might have an office where there's not that many people, and you can trust your coworkers, you can hide it, so you can avoid doing a storage fee. But if you can't, rent out that small space, rent out something, and that's also, hey, maybe that's a business idea for somebody out there. Rent out your garage or your space for people to hide their presents.
Absolutely. Like what I do is I put mine in my walk-in closet. Because there's no reason she needs to be in my walk-in closet. So and so that's what I do. So this year she said for us to do Secret Santa, and I was trying to figure out how we were going to do Secret Santa where we're not all at the same location. But then I forgot the name of the place online that you have to sign up on. And on November 28th, I guess she chose that day. We're all going to choose a name. And she put the gift at $50, and I told her she needs to bring that amount down about $30.
Well, I think 50 is the cap.
Well,
it doesn't have to be 50. It's up to 50.
Well, I said bring it down because everyone is not in the same position.
That's what I meant. It doesn't have to be. It could be $5. Just 50 is the limit.
Right, but think about it like this: if you're saying 50 is a limit, if someone goes to, let's see, now you know what I said last week. Like I love if you went to Family Dollar or Dollar General and got me like anything that has scripture on it. Like I'm
not that person.
And you said you're not that person. I am that person. Like it could be a $5
but you
gift.
You can get a nice pair of something, even if you. No, it doesn't have to be crazy expensive. But
no, I know what my point was. My point.
I know what you're saying.
Because I've actually seen this on social media.
I think $50 is a good limit because you.
I don't, but let me tell you why. Let me first tell you why I don't think it's good limit. Because these are the same people that we're giving gifts to the very next day. So, being that I'm already going to be shopping for these people for Christmas, to me, $50 is high when I'm already going to be...
It isn't high if you think, I don't have to spend 50. I can spend 50.
Right, but sometimes...
50 is just...
But sometimes...
That's up to the person.
No, I understand that, but for some people, as soon as they see that $50, they're thinking, like, they get overwhelmed. Like, oh my God.
You don't have to be.
Right,
this is what I said.
Right, but that's what you're saying, but that's not how everyone is. Some people do get overwhelmed.
It doesn't have to be that deep.
But for
50 is your limit.
That is what you're saying, but for some people, Rhodey, honest, because I see this happens to us in church. It happens to us in church when they ask for a certain offering, and people go like,
"If you don't have it, don't give it."
What people? That's
how easy.
But people don't think
how easy it can be.
People don't think like that.
Yeah, I know. People overcomplicate life.
Absolutely. So my point was, I said to her to bring it down to about $20 because, like I said, we're the same people that's going to give each other gifts the following day. So I
think what she's saying is fine.
So well, anyway, I told her to bring it down to $20. And that my reasoning was just what I said, because we're all going to be giving one another gifts the following day. And so what I do like about the place where you can go sign up at, it has like...
Why do you have to sign up for Secret Santa? Why can't you just give it?
What do you mean? Because she used this certain place. I don't know. This certain place that I forgot the name of the place that you sign up on. And they give you gift ideas on there. It's connected to different stores so you can look at different things that you may want. So for example, like I typed in women's slippers. That's something I absolutely love. Slippers, nightgowns. I mean, for me, you give me that, you could never go wrong. I love that kind of stuff. And so I typed in women's slippers, and all these different slippers popped up, and I clicked on one. It took me straight to Amazon, and it took me straight to the different colors, the different sizes. So I was able to say to them exactly what colors I wanted. So that's what we're going to do. That's what we have chosen to do. And for some people, I find that to be easier. Because you can go up there and you write down your wish list, and you can write down, even when you put down your wish list, you can put there's a toggle up there where you can move the toggle if you want this to be like high important on your wish list. Which certain couple of slippers I put up there, I made sure I moved the toggle because I really would like one of the two pairs that I chose. But so I told my daughter that could be a new tradition that we start of doing Secret Santa, being that it's only the four of, like my mom only had 2 kids, myself and my brother. He's no longer with us. I only have one daughter. He has 3 kids. So our immediate family is not large. Our immediate family is very small. And so my nephew is not coming down, and my other niece is not coming down. So I'm grateful that my other niece is going to come down, although she's petrified of dogs. So what I said to her is, what I would do is, when you first enter in, I'll make sure I have the dogs on their leashes so that you can become a little acclimated to them and they can become acclimated to you before I just take off.
But also tell her, even though you're scared of dogs, you have dogs. You gotta calm down, even if they're on their leash and in their cage.
Well, I absolutely do all of that. And
I'm talking about your niece, and I don't know this. I don't know this young lady, but if you are terrified of them, and you're like, oh my goodness, there's a dog. You've got to calm down.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
If you're jumpy, they react to your emotions.
Yes, you're absolutely, and thank you for saying that, because that's something I'm going to tell her as well.
And see, that's another thing about trying not to go crazy during the holidays,
or to keep your joy and your peace. Because
to keep your joy and your peace. If you have a pet and you have a loved one who either doesn't like pets or is scared of pets, and they're going to come over to your house, say, hey, if it's a dog, a cat, maybe you can go out into the park where people are walking their dogs, and, you don't have to pet them. Just walk somewhat close to them to see how dogs react to different people. And you will find, if you are jumpy, even if you're trying to be calm around them, the dog will react to your jumpiness.
Absolutely. And what I normally do is, first of all, I don't get visitors. That's number one. But number two, she's going to be here for a couple of days, whether it's 2 days, 3 days. She's going to be here for more than just a couple of hours. So, I have a couple of friends who are afraid of dogs as well. And they're like, Shawnee, I would never come back to your house because now you have dogs and da-da-da. And I said, well, just because I have dogs does not mean that I will just allow my dogs to just be all in your presence like that. I would not do that. And if I know that you have that fear, I would try to keep my dog away from you. Meaning for me, I would keep them in my bedroom, or I would keep them in my daughter's bedroom, somewhere away from them, because they're only going to be there for an hour and a half max. My niece is going to be here for more than that. So I have to find a way for them both to be able to get acclimated to one another in a calmly type fashion. And I also realized what I can do to help minimize my dogs being overly hyper is they love bones. And we often go to the I can have my daughter go to the farmer's market, and they have bones. Well, it's not for dog. Well, dogs can have them, but you can use them for soup bones, or if you want to use them. You know what bones I'm talking about? That they have up there.
I had a dog once upon a time.
Okay, so we buy those smoked bones for them. We used to buy the raw bones for them. But now I just mainly buy the smoked bones for them. And they are living their best lives with those smoked bones. You hear me? So if I have something like that will take their attention away from wanting to jump all over my niece and all that kind of stuff. So I'm actually, I think my mom, with all that she has going on, I think she's happy that her black baby is coming down. I think she's happy that she gets to see her and get to spend Christmas with her, and of course with myself and Ashley. So, but holidays can be extremely stressful. Holidays can be very, very stressful. And I think we touched on this last week when we were talking about the holidays, how, holidays can be stressful for many different reasons. Financial reasons can stress you out if you know that.
Look, if you know you don't have the money, don't pretend you have the money. You can just say, I love you. Y'all, we can come over. We can watch movies. You could do things like a cookie exchange if you're into
or
that.
My thing is, this is how I look at stuff. I guess I don't know if I'm becoming more sentimental in my older age or what. My thing is everything.
You're getting up there.
My I forgot what I was gonna say. I was about to say my age, but that's not what I want to say. Um, um, Rody caught me by surprise. I really can't get myself together. What I was gonna say is, oh my God, I really can't get myself together. Shh. I'm sorry, you guys.
We're used to puppies.
Oh my God, Rody. Oh, at my older age, I think I'm becoming more sentimental. So my thing is, everything like I keep saying all the time. For me, you don't have to go and buy me something from Tiffany's or Versace or anything like that. I said this once, I said this 3 times, I'll say it again. Go to Dollar General, go to Family Dollar, go to Walmart, get me something inspirational. Matter of fact, write me a letter. If you were to write me a letter, just a heartfelt letter, and give me that for Christmas. Something like, I understand.
That is very sweet.
I'm one of those people. I understand that everyone does not have it. Some people are just trying to put food on the table. Like I told someone from my church, and you probably know who I'm talking about. I said to him, he was telling me all of this food that he's cooking. I mean, it's an excessive amount of food, even for our culture. Like, it's a lot of food. And I said to him, you do know you have to live and eat after Thanksgiving.
Don't yuck his yum. If he wants to cook a lot of food, let him.
Well,
you have to think about real life every day anyway. It's just life. You have to pay your bills. You have to do this. You have to get an oil change. You have to do all types of stuff.
Well,
if
I
he
said
wants
that.
to cook
Well,
an
no,
obscene amount of food.
No, I said that for a reason. He knows why I said that. I
know why you said it.
And I also said that, he was asking me what I was doing for Thanksgiving. I said, first of all, we know I don't cook. Not like that. I don't, like, if I had to cook a Thanksgiving dinner for people, my anxiety would be through the roof. It would be
it shouldn't be, because you said, first of all, you're not a cook. So why volunteer?
I would not volunteer. That's what I'm saying. But if someone said, we're going to come, I've had people do things like that. We believe you can't cook, so we're going to come in your house and we're going to eat.
No, you're not either. Don't come to my house.
We're going to trust that you can cook. No, please don't do that. I will get upset.
No, you're not coming to my house.
Don't do that to me. I didn't
offer.
Do not do
That's etiquette.
Oh my gosh, please don't do that to me. I'm a very generous person, nice person, but when it comes to cooking, I hear a lot of people say to me, cooking is so therapeutic for them. It takes their mind. That's
them.
Right, and I'm not like that.
But if they tell you, I'm coming to your house, no, you're not. Because etiquette 101, you don't invite yourself to somebody's event. If somebody says, I think you really can't cook, ain't nobody asked you to come over here.
Oh, well, wait, she just said that, and I just remember last week I invited myself to her and her son's house and said, I'm coming for a plate. Oh, my God. Lord, forgive me. Forgive me, Rhodey. I'm sorry.
You're fine. But I'm just saying, in general, if somebody says that to you,
I know we don't do that to people. I know we don't be like, I'm coming to your house.
I'm coming and you're going to cook. No, get out. And if you're standing at the front door and nobody answers it,
you know why.
Because you didn't invite yourself, you know why.
So, the holiday season is very stressful. For a lot of people, it's also joyous for a lot of people. And for some people, it could be a mix of array of feelings. It could be different things going on. For some people, they host at their homes a lot. And so they have to think about, okay, they're hosted for Thanksgiving. I just read this article that this young lady says she canceled Thanksgiving and she canceled Christmas because she did not like the way the election went. And
that's not. Let me just intercede here for just a second. There was a post that went around social media. It said, and this was several weeks before the election, it said, do not allow this election to cause you to lose friends, lose family.
I saw that.
Because let's face it, you don't know the Republican candidate.
You don't.
And you don't know the Democratic candidate. You don't know the independent candidate.
You do not know the
you
hearts of
don't know
man.
these people, and
You do not know.
They don't know you, and
Absolutely.
you don't know them.
Absolutely.
I don't care how. I honestly could care less who you voted for. My point of bringing this up is, don't let people that, number one, you don't know. Number two, they don't know you. Number three, if something happened in your life, let's say you had a bad day at work. Let's say you had a flat tire and you need somebody to come get you. Can you call any of these people and they would come get you?
And you know what?
If you were sick in the bed, would they come take care of you?
And not just about politicians. I feel like that about celebrities. How some people go so hard for celebrity. No, but specifically like celebrities, people go hard for certain celebrities, and I'm like, if your rent is due, can you call that person up and say, can you give me $1,500 because I'm about to get evicted? No, but so somebody says something.
And people that you know, let's say your coworker or even your boss. Yes, you might be cordial with your boss, right, but can you really say that boss is your friend?
Right. Can you turn to that boss and say, like, I'm really in need right now. My family and I, we're facing eviction or we're facing a foreclosure. And you think your boss will actually try to do something within his or her power to be able to help you and your family out?
Yeah.
Or do you have the kind of boss that would kind of hold it over your head, be like, oh, I know they need this job, so I'm going to make their life even more difficult because I know he or she can't quit because they need the money. So
think about those things before you do something as drastic as canceling Christmas and Thanksgiving because the election didn't go your way. There's always going to be something in your life
Absolutely.
that doesn't go your way. And I heard, and I was like, I hope this story is not true, that some man, he was playing a game. You know,
yes,
you can play those games.
If it's the same story I read, but go ahead.
You know, you can do Call of Duty or whatever else, and you can play with different people in different areas. And the game did not go his way, and he threw his baby against the wall.
But kind of find out, they said they've been doing tests, and this baby has had a lot of trauma. Yes, that like 20 years old, and this is what you do. You got to be careful. This is another topic, so I'm not gonna get. But 20 years old, he upset over a game. And he said he heard his baby head bounce off the wall.
And I've played games. You get mad at people. You're like, why did you put down that card? Or why did you choose my sister is an amazing gamer and she doesn't play as much as she used to, but I used to watch her play all the time, and people get really, really emotionally attached to these games. And they will scream and kick and throw things and curse.
Mm-hmm. Especially in our culture, if you're playing something like Spades too, like Spades. Oh my goodness! Like,
and I don't know how to play Spades.
I don't either.
I was always told, do not play Spades with someone you care about,
and don't play it if you don't know what you're doing. People get real mad.
People get mad, but then here's a sidebar funny for people playing Spades. They'll get mad at you for not knowing how to play, but then when you say, hey, can you please teach me how to play? They won't teach you.
They won't teach you because they'll say, I've had people, no lie, say this, you should already know how to play. Like, what?
Yeah, you should know how to play because you're black, but if your family didn't grow up playing Spades, how do you know how to play?
Oh my goodness, like,
just teach me, please.
Kind of just like Uno. Sometimes each family has their own rules for Uno.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, getting back to the topic, this time of year can bring a lot of different emotions out of people. But I just want to encourage everyone that, no matter what's on your plate, I know for some people, they're like, I'm not thinking about Thanksgiving. I'm just thinking about how I'm going to put food on the table tonight for my kids to eat. I can't think about 2-3 weeks away from now. I got to think about how we going to eat tonight. How am I going to keep my baby's stomach from growling tonight? And I get that. And that's a hard situation to be in. And Rhodey and I both are single parents. We both were single mothers, so we understand. We were not born. Well, I can't speak for Rhodey. I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth.
If I were born with a silver spoon in my mouth, we probably wouldn't be talking right now.
Oh wow.
Not to say that I I'm bougie like that, but I'm just, if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth, life can take you a completely different direction.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
Because, if you have money, then you're usually around other people who have money, and people who have money, they keep their groups pretty close to the vest.
That's absolutely true.
They'll tell their kids, their friends, their family, hey, invest in this stuff.
Right.
Do this, do that.
Right.
So being able to go to that college or being able to go to that prep school can put you with a whole different set of people. I'm not saying we would have never met, but
no, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And usually when you do get connected to someone who's not in that circle, it's just by chance, like maybe
just happenstance.
Yes, exactly. Maybe you went to college and you actually met this person, and although they're not from the same cloth you're cut from, you felt some kind of something that you felt like, oh wow, I feel drawn to this person. Like we're completely different. We don't have the same background, but I feel drawn to this person. That happens sometimes as well. But she's absolutely right. Most people who have born with a platinum spoon in their mouths or a silver spoon.
And it's not like you wouldn't talk to a person who has less than you, because you should be able to make friends with somebody who has less than you. You should be able to make friends with somebody who has more than you.
Unfortunately, everyone is not like that. Some people can't.
I know. I'm just telling a story. I'm just saying, you should be able to make friends with somebody who has less or more than you. But the likelihood of you running across people in certain circles, if your circumstances had been different, it changes.
Yeah, because I seem like I'm trying to find those people that's in the millionaire and billionaire club.
I know a couple of millionaires, but they're not sharing.
Well, I was going to say, and that's the truth, because I had an uncle who was a multimillionaire, and he was tight. That's why he was one, because he was very tight.
I mean, you can't blame them, because if somebody knows that you have money,
yes,
you're going to have to change. You're going to have to move out of the neighborhood and change your phone number.
I heard Rihanna say, I don't know what I was watching, and someone was interviewing her, and they were saying about when she first became a billionaire, and she said, hey, listen, don't be coming to my house asking me, can you borrow $20? Because you're not getting it. And I thought it was so funny that she said that. She said she thought it was so weird. She woke up that morning. She was getting all these text messages from people congratulating her and did it. And she was like, people were not congratulating me when I was broke. Like, so what? Like, she said she felt that. Then she said she had to really sit back and think about it. And she said once she thought about it, she understood why they were congratulating her. Because now they see themselves and they feel like, okay, if she could do it from her background, it could be attainable for me as well to accomplish that feat and become a billionaire. She said, but at first she was thinking like, this is weird. Why are you congratulating? Like,
well, she did work hard.
Right, but I guess she just looked at it like, listen, I feel like this day and time, you can become a millionaire. Congratulations to you. My thing, if you tell me you have a business and you can get consistent sales, congratulations to you. But getting back to the topic, keeping your joy, keeping your peace during this time. Sometimes when you get family, I think Rhodey told me she had a large family like further south. My family further south is more larger because that's where most of my family is at in North/South Carolina. And sometimes when you get together with family can be beautiful. Family can bring out just memories. You start thinking about the past, but then sometimes it can add turmoil because sometimes you're thinking about the past and you think about who did you wrong or who still owes you money, that kind of stuff. Or sometimes you guys get together and it could be something as simple as what we were just discussing, playing a simple game. And people allow their emotions to get the best of them. and people want to start fighting over a game. These are things that really, maybe it don't happen in your family, but these are things that really they really do happen in people's families. People can get upset over what I may consider something very minute. But I had to come to a realization, just because I think something is minute doesn't mean that other person who's on the receiving end feels the same way. And so everyone has the right to feel what they want to feel. But I just caution everyone. Don't take everything to heart. Just try to do your best. And if you are one of those people who's hosting for Thanksgiving, who's hosting for Christmas, who's hosting for New Year's, if someone is asking you, how can I help you? Accept the help. Don't feel like you have to micromanage everything. Don't feel like just because you're the host that you have to do all of the cooking yourself. Maybe delegate. Maybe someone makes, again, I don't cook, but if I was hosting Thanksgiving and I was inviting my church family and everybody said they were coming. Because I don't cook, I would pull people that I know are stronger cooks. Would you mind cooking this? Would you mind cooking that? You delegate and ask people, would you mind doing this? Would you have the ability to do this? And sometimes you may even have to, depending on the situation, you may have to give people the ingredients that they need to be able to cook, because everyone doesn't have the money to go out and cook for 20, 25 people. So sometimes
along those lines too, she's talking about throwing a party. Realize, yes, you have to be a good host, but you also have to be a good guest.
Yes.
Don't go over people's house.
Yes, please say that again.
You have to be a good host, but you also have to be a good guest. Don't go over people's houses demanding to know why they don't have your favorite soda or coffee at their house. Don't go over their house saying, oh, their toilet paper is not the type I would use. Why is it not your house?
Why is it so thin and rough? Or please, this is very important. This is so important. Please do not go to people's homes with your Tupperware already in hand, packing food to go before all the guests have arrived to eat.
And you didn't ask.
And you did not ask. You didn't ask, and you have already packed away meals for the 20 people that did not come, that's at your house.
That chose not to come. They were invited to come. They just couldn't be bothered to come. But then they want, you make the best stuffing or dressing, as some people call it. You make the best dressing, so they want some of your dressing, but they won't come to your house to get it. They just want to get some.
Right. Please don't do that, because that's another issue of people. I don't know if that happens in everyone's household, but that is a problem that happens sometimes in people's households. People bring Tupperware with them.
And all types of stuff.
Yes, and before everyone can eat, you're already packing up the food. Host. No, please, just like she said.
Be a gracious host,
but
also be a gracious guest.
Yes, please be a gracious guest. Like, please.
Don't talk about how awful you think the smell is. If somebody, you know how people do.
No, you're right.
If somebody is using paper plates because they don't want to wash all those dishes, well, my goodness, why couldn't they use real? People do too much.
Absolutely. Why they couldn't use their what's the I can't even think of the good dishes, what they call it, China. Thank you. What? Because it's not your home. They didn't want to use that.
They didn't want to use it, and people don't realize all those. I am that person. Sometimes, if I feel like it every now and again, I'll set my table. It looks like a table at Buckingham Palace. But you know what happens after everybody's eaten? You have to clean it.
You have to clean all of that stuff.
And you don't feel like always cleaning that.
No, you
might
do not.
it for, a small amount of people, maybe 6 people, you might do the Buckingham Palace table. But if you're anything like my godparents, who they just had an open door at Christmas Eve, you're not going to set your table like that.
Absolutely. And then I've been at people's homes like this, where say like another guest come in, and this guest has a husband, and maybe because at their home they always serve their husband on china, and they'll say to the host, I'm not serving my husband on a paper plate. I need a china plate for my husband.
I need it. You know, I heard that Marvin Sapp is like that.
Really?
I heard that he will not eat off a paper plate, but you know what? That's his house. But
That's
anyway,
his house. But my point is, how you go to someone else's home and tell someone else
something?
Yes, and demand, like, who you please do not. Please do not. That's one way of not keeping your joy and not keeping your peace. Going to someone else's home and demanding something. Going to someone else's home and not being a gracious guest. That's the easiest way of getting your peace disturbed and getting your joy disturbed. The easiest way. Especially if my mom was hosting something and you went to her home and telling her what to do in her home or why she did. Baby, her and Rhodey are like the wrong women to do that to. Now, you could get away with that with me, but I would not trust to do that with them.
It's just rude. Number one, you know, if you were never taught, then we are telling you right now, you don't go over to someone else's house, not even a restaurant, to their house and demand that they have, how come you don't have hot sauce? How come you don't have my favorite drink? How come you're not watching my favorite Christmas movie? How come you're not doing X, Y, and Z?
Right.
Because it's not your house.
Absolutely.
If they don't have the toilet paper you like, you deal with it until you get home.
Or can I say this too? This is not me, but getting on the lines that you have cats and I have dogs.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into someone's household who has animals, who has pets, whether it's cats, dogs, a mixture, bird, whatever. If you go to that person's house and you see they allow their cats on their sofa or their dog on their sofa, don't go to that person. Why you have the cat on on the furniture? Because it's their home. That's what they are.
If you don't like it, don't go.
Exactly. Or if you have my animals are not allowed in my kitchen. But I know there's a lot of people who do allow their animals in their kitchen. If you go to someone's household who happen to allow their cat or their dog to walk in the kitchen, don't go to their household going, oh, no, what? No, I'm not eating your food because I said you let your cat in your kitchen or you let your dog in your kitchen. Please, just be a gracious guest.
Or if you just think someone is dirty for whatever the reason.
Right. I didn't want to go that way.
I'm going there.
I was trying not to go that way.
You have to, because that's part of being a gracious host or even a gracious guest or receiver. Let's say somebody fixed whatever.
Right.
For 4th of July, Christmas, maybe you do a cookie exchange at Halloween because people do make some awesome candies and cookies at Halloween. Even if you don't celebrate the holiday, the food's delicious. And they say, you know what? I was thinking about you and I made you a pie or some cookies or whatever. And in your mind, you have already made up that you think that person is dirty.
Right.
You take their food, you smile in their face, and you go home and throw it in the trash.
And you don't have to tell anyone. Trust me, I've done it many times. I also just actually read this thing on Threads. I think it was last night, actually. A coworker had a birthday. And someone was gracious enough to buy this person a gift. I guess a well thought out gift. Well, the receiver said, she poses the question to everyone. Should I just give this gift back to her? Or should I just throw it away? Because I don't want the gift. And people was like, Tamara, like, I've never met so many entitled people in my life, so many disrespectful and rude people in my life.
Honey, they come for you in the comments. They do.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these people was ripping this lady apart. Someone took their time to think of you, to buy you a gift, to spend their money, to think about what they're going to get you. And your first thought is, I don't like this, so I want to either give it back to offend the person, or I'm just going to throw it away. Some people was like, who raised some of y'all? This is like, who raised some of y'all? Like, please don't be that person. Don't be that person.
If you don't like it, just don't take it.
You don't, even if the food is not to palatable for you. It could
be something perfect. It could be, it could be meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas, or whatever. And they say, you know what? I had a little extra, and I was thinking about you, so here you go. And you're like, oh, they made it. I'm not even going to eat it.
Yep. You know, the funny thing is, my best friend, we met in college. And this is no lie to you. No lie to you. I told her I knew she was something special, and I knew we were going to be really good friends. I'll never forget. We were standing by our lockers. And she had made lemon cake. And she brought me in a piece of lemon cake in a piece of aluminum foil. And she offered it to me. Now, mind you, I'm one of those people that's very picky because of the way I was raised and brought up by my mom. I was always raised, you don't eat everyone's cooking, or this is the way I was raised. So I'm thinking, wait, what? But guess what I did? I took it. I took the cake, and I actually ate the cake. And guess what? That cake was delicious. It was the bomb. So my point is, if I would stay closed-minded, if I maybe would have reacted in a rude or disrespectful manner, she and I may have missed out on being best friends all these years. Because it could have been just me, the way I reacted, that could have turned her off. Because she's extended an olive branch. Her way of extending an olive branch is say, hey, I just want to get to know you more. Or I just, I think you're a cool person. Whatever the case may be. I'm offering you a piece of homemade cake that I made. Me, I don't want that. That look nasty to me.
I've heard people say it looks nasty.
That's exactly what I just said. It looks nasty to me.
It looks nasty, or it's not going to taste. And y'all have heard me say this before, so I'll keep it short. It's not going to taste the way I'm used to.
Yup.
Or and they try. That just plucks my nerves when people say we.
We
like the whole race.
People, right? Like, go ahead.
Okay. I don't like when people say we, as in our whole race, don't eat this.
Right.
Or we don't do that.
Or we don't cook it like that. We who, ma'am? We who? Maybe you and your family don't cook it like that. But me and my family, we do. We add whatever. If it's potato salad, in my household, we add eggs. We add relish to our potato salad. Maybe you don't do that.
Put eggs in it.
Maybe you don't do that in your potato salad. And guess what? That's okay for you and your family. Like I just found out, like for a lot of Latinas, I didn't know this. Their fried chicken does not consist of flour. I never knew that. I always thought all fried foods growing up, but actually as an adult too, I always thought if it was fried, like really fried, it consisted of having flour on it. I did not realize.
It could be cornmeal. It could be.
Well, I mean, I figured it was some kind of base, but no, they don't. From what I understood from TikTok, they don't put any. They just season their stuff and fry it like that. I never knew that. My mom told me that's. Well, she has a couple where she lives at. She has a couple of friends who are Latinxes. And she said they told her the same thing. They don't put any kind of coating. They just season it and put it right in the hot oil. I did not know that. So it goes to show you that everyone does not do everything just alike. Like, for example, my mom, when she makes tuna fish, I love to put relish in my tuna fish. My mom does not put relish in her tuna fish. I absolutely love relish in my tuna fish. So it goes to show you could be in the same household and not like things exactly the same way.
It's just what it is.
It's just what it is. But I feel like just being kind, being respectful, not going places with preconceived notions, of how you think this person's house is going to smell. I think this person's house is going to smell like cat pee. Or I think this person's house is going to have dog hair all over
Dog
it.
hair everywhere.
You know what I mean? Don't go to people's homes. If you're going to feel like that and
Just
think
don't
like
go.
that, just don't go. Just don't go. I would rather for someone not to come than to come and cause strife, come and cause problems. People are going through a lot during the holiday season as it is. People are missing loved ones. And and I don't mean just loved ones who have died. Maybe your loved one has moved away and they cannot come into town.
Maybe they're in the military.
Or maybe they're in prison. Let's be honest. Maybe they're in prison.
Okay, or there.
Or maybe your children are in foster care. And you're trying to get yourself together to get your children. So people are going through a lot. So let's show each other some grace this
and
holiday
also,
season.
if you know someone's relative is in the military or jail or in foster care or across the country, please don't keep bringing it up to them.
Right. So
you don't think they know? They know.
So, girl, when you gonna stop smoking crack so you get your kids back? What? That's why sometimes people don't come to people's homes either, because they don't want to be bombarded with questions. They don't want to be bombarded with getting hit over the head with "I told you so's."
Or, let's say you skipped on a job and the job was really great and the job they took instead is not so great.
Right.
They already know they made a mistake.
Right. Girl, you know you was real stupid. Or how about this? What if they was in a situation and they chose one man over another man, and the man they chose is not doing great and is not providing for them the way that they would like to be provided for, but the person that they didn't choose is blessed and he's prosperous and he's, and he has gotten married and he treats his wife like a queen and they go on vacations and do this and do that. Don't keep throwing that, girl. Don't you feel bad and stupid that you missed out on that? You gave that man up for this bum. Don't do that to people. I find this, Rhodey, and I don't know if you agree or not, but I find most people are hard on themselves enough.
They are.
I find that people are hard on themselves as it is. Just because Rhodey is not telling me that she's hard on herself doesn't mean she's not. Just because I may not tell Rhodey that I'm hard on myself does not mean that I'm not. People are already fighting on a daily basis to keep their peace. People are already fighting on a daily basis of trying to keep their joy. And then on a holiday season, it feels like you working overtime to keep your peace and to keep your joy. And so let's just be more respectful of one another, more kind to one another. And sometimes, no, you may not have money to buy someone a gift, but it could be a little small notion of maybe you have 50 things in your cart and the person standing right behind you has literally 2 things in their hands. Maybe you could be kind and say, you know what? You could go in front of me. Just show someone some grace sometimes. Or maybe, and I know we've spoke about this before, maybe you're at a Starbucks or you're at McDonald's or somewhere, you're in a drive-thru, and you could clearly hear someone arguing with their kids because they really don't have enough money and they're trying to figure out how they're all going to be able to eat something, and you know that you have extra money and it's not going to hurt you. Pay for that person's meal. And don't think about it, and just go on about your business. And you don't have to go
and don't bring it up.
And you don't have to go. Can I just say this too? Everything you do, you don't have to go on social media and tell people what you've done. You don't have to go on social media to tell how you kept someone from getting evicted. You don't have to go on social media and tell someone how you kept someone's car from being repossessed. You don't have to go on social media and tell people how you provided an entire Thanksgiving dinner for someone. Keep some things between you and God.
Oh, I thought you were going to keep on going.
Oh, no, I just wanted to pause.
Yes, keep something. If you can do something for someone, do it. And like Shaniqua said, it doesn't have to cost money. If you've got a cart full and they have something small, do it. It could be even something as simple as holding the door for someone or holding the elevator door. I don't know why
all of that kind of stuff.
I don't know why people will say, if somebody says, "Hey, please hold the elevator," and you can see they're running,
and they'll close it anyway.
They'll either close it or not act like they didn't even hear the person.
Yep. And also, like, maybe you know someone who's homeless, and you've seen this person. Like, I had built up a friendship with this homeless person one time, and it had gotten to the point that anytime I would see him, I would bless him. I could be driving home, and if I were to see him, I would pull over and be like, okay, stay right here. I'm going to go get you something to eat. If you know someone, and of course, I'm not saying do this and then you have to use common sense. But if you know someone and you kind of know their character a little bit, if you feel comfortable enough, maybe this person is homeless and you cook for Thanksgiving and you have all this food, pack up 2 plates and go give it to the person. People are more grateful than what you realize, So, I just want everyone to try their best to keep. This is a season where your joy can really just be disturbed. Your peace can be disturbed. It could be the most joyous time of this year, or it really could be the most hateful time of the year. It's all about perspective. It's all about what you're going to allow in your space. If you make up your mind, you know what? I don't care if you decide. I normally don't go to my family dinners because I see this a lot on social media. People have completely detached themselves from their families because they're like, I do not like how they're treating me any longer. I'm no longer putting myself in those situations. And if you decide, you know what, I'm going to give my family another chance this year. I'm going to go over there. If you choose to go over there, leave what happened yesteryear behind. Don't go over there with that in the front of your mind. I remember my auntie used to always say something smart to me. I remember my uncle used to always say something smart to me.
Or even make sure that it's actually something that was done. One of my favorite movies is Parental Guidance with Billy Crystal and Bette Midler. And yes, this has a point, and I'll make it quick. Billy Crystal and Bette Midler were the parents in the movie to Marissa Tomei's character.
Yes.
And Marissa Tomei had in her mind that her parents were mean to her, they were awful, they were this, they were that. But in reality, they didn't do anything to her. She just thought they did because, she's like, you were always taking Dad's side, so and so and so. And Bette Midler said, hey, I got to tell you something. You have to stand with your spouse more often than you think you do. Because when the kids grow up and move away, you're still there with your spouse.
And that's the truth. And
if you always take the kid's side, when the kids grow up and move away, you are at odds with your spouse because you were always taking the child's side, and now there you are.
Yup. And that is, I find that, of course I'm not married, but from what I've heard other people say, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true.
You have got to make sure the thing that you're angry about
is valid. It's valid.
It's valid.
Because sometimes people make things up in their minds.
Because in the movie, what happened was Marissa Tomei had to leave her 3 children with her parents instead of with her husband's parents, and she was almost having a panic attack because she was like, "Oh my goodness, my parents." But it turned out them staying with her parents was great for the kids because the kids were so high strung and she had them on this crazy strict schedule. And, the little girl, she was almost pulling her hair out because she thought she had to be perfect at everything. And them hanging out with her parents let them know, I don't have to be perfect at everything. I'm just a kid.
Wow.
And they were the parents were really good to her, but in her mind, she thought that they were like abusive and neglectful, even though they took her on trips. They did stuff with her. They talked to her. But that's not what she remembered.
Yep. And that's true. Yeah. That is true. That is very, very true.
It's a great movie if you have the chance to watch it.
I have not seen that movie. I have not seen that in years. I actually forgot about it till you mentioned it.
Yeah, so our listeners, if you get a chance to watch it, it's a great movie. But, yeah, like I brought that up because just that point.
No, you're absolutely right about that.
if your family did do something to you, then by all means, limit your access.
Because you have the right to fight for your peace, and you have the right to protect your peace and to protect your joy. I am not saying that, because you have, trust me, I am an advocate for keeping your peace and keeping your joy. And I say this all the time. If you're saying anything or doing anything that's disturbing my peace, I have to remove myself from the situation. So I'm a huge advocate. But what Rhodey is saying is, make sure what you're feeling is actually valid. Like, you didn't just make up something that did not happen. Like, for example, may sound kind of off. Have you ever had a dream and you wake up and you kind of like, wait, did that really happen, or was that a dream? Like, you confused about what happened. I've had that to happen to me many times. One time I was in a hospital with someone, and it was in the middle of the night, and I must have dozed off in the hospital, and she couldn't speak. It's somebody from my church, and she couldn't speak, and something happened, and I jumped up, and I was like, "Where am I? Am I in real life? Is this real life, or am I dreaming about this?" And she could not speak, and when I said that, it did something. It made her laugh so hard her voice came back. But I was serious. I could not gather whether I was really in a dreaming it, or if I was really in reality living it out. So maybe it's just me that go through those weird things. But bottom line is, make sure what you're feeling is valid. And if people have shown you who they are over the years, that's something totally different.
That's a different case. But we're just saying, right, make sure that what you feel is real, and it's not just because maybe you went to school, you went from CNA to a BSN to a RN, whatever the case may be, and now you're on the come up, and you can afford a lot of things that your family may not have been able to afford coming up. That doesn't make them bad people. Yes. That doesn't make them, trashy people. They're still your same family who stood by you and raised you and wiped your little snotty nose before you even knew what a Birkin bag was.
Right. Just
because they can't afford a Birkin bag does not make them a bad person.
Absolutely. That's a really good point that you made. That because a lot of times people do think materialistic things, and they equate that to character. And there's a lot of people out here that can afford a lot of expensive materialistic things. But guess what? They have no depth when it comes to their character. They have no moral compass. So I agree with Brody on that. So we just want everyone to be able to enjoy the holiday season. We don't want you guys to get stressed out. We don't want you guys to lose your peace. We just want you to have a joyous time. If you can enjoy family, and maybe your family is your friends. Some people have really, from what I'm understanding, people have really detached themselves from their biological families, and their friends have become their families. And if that's you, well, kudos to you. Whoever you choose to be around.
The same rules apply.
Absolutely.
If you can't afford to get them expensive presents, if they're your real friends, they'll understand.
They'll understand. And if they're your real friends, you wouldn't have to put on airs for them. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have money. If Rhodey says, Shaniqua, let's go to Paris right now. Sis, I would love to be able to go to Paris with you right now. I would love to. But I'm unable to at this time.
Try to do some of the things like Shaniqua and I suggested. Maybe do a cookie exchange or an ugly sweater exchange.
Yes.
Have karaoke. Something that won't cost you money, but it'll give you great memories.
Memories, yes.
And then maybe later on down the line, when you do have some more money, you could do those gifts. But it shouldn't be a deal breaker if we don't have the money.
I mean, something as simple as maybe you guys are going through financially, so you can't do gifts exchange. Maybe just do like a paint and sip. And when I say paint and sip, You paint and you sip on some hot cocoa.
Mm-hmm.
Or do a movie and sip. Movie, sip, and eat. You sip on hot cocoa.
Yeah.
You know, you watch your favorite movie, sip on hot chocolate, and eat popcorn. Or whatever the case may be. You know, everything does not have to cost money.
Or do something like a movie like maybe The Five Heartbeats. Most Black people that I know have seen The Five Heartbeats. Shaniqua, have you seen it?
I have.
So let's say during that movie, because there's a lot of music in that movie, and during the scenes where they sing, maybe sing along with the actors and stuff.
Right.
Goofy things like that.
And people laugh, like when you do, especially when you're around people that you really love and like, you know, that you can act stupid with, you know. Especially when you're around people that you could just act stupid with, like where you don't have to think about it, where you could just act dumb with them. That is the best, and you get the best memories.
You do.
You get the best memories.
Like I said, even though, you know, my godparents were not wealthy people, but those memories, you sit back and you think about them and you smile. Because if you give somebody a Birkin bag, or you give somebody diamond studs from Tiffany's, and you still hate each other after you open the box, that's not good.
Absolutely. And for some people, you could give them that. Like if someone wants to give me a Birkin bag, I'm like, oh, thank you. You know how many brand new pocketbooks I have in my closet that I have never even used? So I'm just not that girl. Like I'm really not that girl. I would be like, thank you, and I would appreciate it, and I would probably keep it safe, but it's not something that I would be like, oh my, like, you will get more of a reaction out of me, like I said this so many times, if you got me something spiritual, like, with a scripture, like, that's the stuff that's what's dear to my heart. That's the kind of stuff that I love. Or if you got me some...
I only keep saying Birkin bag because it's so expensive.
No, I know, but so that's why I use that. But
because I do not have one.
Nor do I.
I don't have one. I only brought it up because if all you care about is
materialistic,
the gift,
right?
If something happens to the bag or the earrings or the car, if you can afford that, then what else do you have? If you build lasting memories with people, that lasts longer. I'm not saying I don't have materialistic stuff, because I do. I have closets, plural, full of clothes. But when I think about things, like I think about my mom or something, or, you know, I could fit her clothes. I'll wear one of her coats or something. Thinking about her makes me smile. I don't care about how much she spent on the coat.
Right. So.
But our friends, we love you. We have to bring this episode to a close. Please remember to try as best you can to stay joyful in this season.
Yes.
And being joyful could even be telling a stranger, Merry Christmas, or Happy New Year, or Happy Hanukkah.
Yes.
If you're Jewish, you know, you don't have to walk around like, I hate holidays. It's just commercial. You know how you hear people say, it's just commercial. They just want to go. You know, we get that. There are some people who do have the commercialized version of it. But just, you know, it doesn't cost a thing to say Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas. I hope you have a nice day.
Absolutely. It takes nothing. It takes nothing. Like she said even earlier, it takes nothing to hold the door for someone.
Hold the door. Hold the elevator.
Yes. It takes nothing to do these kind of things.
Don't bring up old mess, people.
And it could be something at work that maybe, you know, one of your coworkers is not feeling too well, and if you see their work on the printer, if you're going that way, it's nothing to pick up their work and go take it to them.
Take it to them.
You know, just try to be more kind and
you know, if you have an elderly neighbor, take their trash can to the curb.
Yes. Do something to show kindness to someone else. And I guarantee you it will be reciprocated in some way. It may not be reciprocated from that person, but I do believe it will come back to you from someone.
It may, you know, everybody doesn't have the same mindset, so
nope.
try not to take everything personally, because sometimes people pluck your nerves.
That's true.
But yes, we want to end on a high note. We want you to be happy. We want you to try as best you can to get along with others during this season. Like Shaniqua said, if your family, if you decided to give them one last try, please don't bring up what happened 10 years ago.
Yes. And I know it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy. But do your best. If you're going to try to make a new effort, try to leave the things that kept tearing you apart back in those years. Because if you keep bringing that stuff up, you're just going to go further and further apart.
Yes, so please, we thank you for listening. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and please comment, because we want to hear your comments. We want to hear maybe show ideas that you may think that we should cover.
And don't forget to download, and when you subscribe, you can get all of the different episodes that we have recorded, and you will also get notified each time we drop a new episode. So please download and subscribe. And until next time, God bless you, God bless you, and God bless you.
See you soon.
Bye.